G'day footy fans and welcome to Boothy's AFL podcast for Dream Team Fantasy Classic, and here's my round 19 look. So my team went up by 700 places from last week, from 5,600 to 4,981, and for the round I finished in the top 3,000 on the back of scoring 21.93, so scores weren't quite as high last week. My team is now worth $14 million. Now I have to tell you from the outset, I did change my trades with an hour to go sitting at the Crows Geelong game, which was a great night for me. And I did actually pull Dangerfield out of the side. So what I did is I went back on getting Wingard and McLean in, luckily, because Wingard got badly injured, as you may know. So I changed my trade. So I got rid of Wingard and McLean and put back Burton and Wallace in my forward line. I got rid of Dangerfield, who got 112, for Josh Kelly, who scored 98. But I also got rid of Scharenberg, who wasn't playing for Collingwood, for Blakely, for Freo, who got 114. So basically I got Kelly and Blakely, who scored a combined total averaging 106 or 7 between them. For Dangerfield, 112, and Scharenberger didn't play. So I actually did quite well out of that, and I'm happy. And Wallace got 87 for me because I still had him in, and Burton became my bench anyway. So I did pretty well. So anyway, in a nutshell, here's my team now. Doherty, of course, Blakely, who I brought in, Adams, Jake Lloyd, who had a bad week but should do better tonight against Hawthorn, Nunes, who had a slightly down week, and Hunt, who's been in great form the last 2 weeks. And I'm making Witherden my emergency for this round. So he's solid. Nahus has been dropped, but I can afford that luxury at the moment. Tom Mitchell remains captain with 130. Josh Kelly, as I said, brought him in. That was in a wet game up there, so hopefully it'll be a bit easier against Freo this time round up there in Sydney. Zach Merritt, who's been excellent. Bontempelli, who's been solid. Ebert, who's been solid. Oliver, who's been solid. And Sheed, who got a good score last week. And Mitch Wallace, who did well for me, who I think is getting better after his broken leg. He's been back for about 6 or 8 weeks now, so he's getting a bit better. And Sam Powell-Pepper, who's a bit up and down. He's my emergency. He could get 110 or he could get 65. So he's my emergency. Now, here's what I've done this week. So Jared Witts is my ruckman, who's been my most consistent, averaging 93. And I'm bringing in Dawson Simpson for Sean Darcy. Why, may you ask? Because it saves me $199,000. Dawson Simpson's a 29-year-old ruckman from Geelong who has been under mummy for the last 2 years and can't get a game. He's been dominating the AFL as a mature ruckman, averaging 50 hit-outs and 15 or so disposals. And he's got his chance with mummy out for a fortnight, and he's actually rucking in Sydney against Darcy, and he's pretty much the sole ruck because Rory Lobb stays up forward most of the time. So I'm backing Dawson Simpson in, and even Big Prusy, who I could have put on the field, I'm actually making him emergency because Majak Daw is in the side and they like him rucking as well. So I'm putting Simpson on the field, who I hope can get 80, and Prus emergency, which gives me backup. Now that saves me 200,000, as I said, or 199. And with that 199, I basically got rid of Burton, who I still had, for Sidebottom. Now Sidebottom only got 71 last week, but he averages 107. And they're playing the Crows, so I'll get to watch that, of course. But Pendlebury's out, we know. Sidebottom had a down week, but I expect 100 out of Sidebottom. So, we'll see what happens. But I think Sidebottom's a really good option. Sorry about that glitch there, but we'll get there. So my forward line now is Sidebottom, McRae, Ryder, Heaney, Billings and Greenwood. Pretty solid. And Parsons is my emergency, who hopefully I won't have to use because he's been a bit up and down. And so your main thing is you have an emergency that you've got, and of course 6 solid players on the field. And yeah, there's a bit of a risk there in the ruck, but I like taking a risk here and there to save the money because I've got a guns and rookies approach. And as you can see in my forward line now, I've got 5 guys I'd call guns plus Greenwood. The midfield, of course, if you call Wallace a gun, which is not quite really, is he? But and Sheed's probably on that verge as well. I've got 6 guns in the midfield and 2 guys that are sort of getting there. And in defence, of course, you could argue I've got 5 guns there plus Hunt, who's been in good form. So, as long as you've got an emergency that's decent and you've got 5 guns ideally on the field at this time of the year, or 4 or 5 out of 6 type thing, or 7 out of 8, then you should be okay. And I've still got, after all of this talk, 43,000 for next week, with 4 rounds to go after this round. So remember, guys, look for the green dots. There's nothing wrong with picking a player who's the main or sole ruckman like a Simpson. And the other options, put Bruce as your ruckman, of course, and save your money on one of your other ruckmen who's not performing. Save some money there and use that money to upgrade a red dot. There are a few guys playing. You just be careful to check the final teams on Friday. As soon as this podcast goes to air, you will be able to check the final teams for Friday and do it before 7:50 Eastern. because they will have green dots by then because they announce it at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. So you know the full 22-man teams for Sunday. So there's no funny buggers because the orange dots are not always a good thing, but green will definitely play. So good luck, guys. Let me know how you go. My goal is still to finish in the top 1,000 at the end of the year. I'm in the top 5,000 now. You never know. Need a massive score. And, of course, Mitchell's my captain because he's just so consistent against his old team, Sydney, tonight. Bye for now.